and Eastern. And good evening, everyone. I'm Jeff Young along with Clem Haskins, and really that pretty much says it all, Coach. Western and Eastern, throw everything else out. These two teams have met enough. They know a lot about each other.
Believe me, anytime Western and Eastern get together, it's going to be a big game tonight, a big dogfight from start to finish.
Both of them coming in with very good records. Western 6-1, Eastern 5-1. And the two players we want to watch tonight, of course, Courtney Lee, always for the Hilltoppers. Then Julian Maskell, a very good shooter, a perimeter shooter for Eastern.
Well, Courtney Lee's having a big year, and Maskell doing the same thing. These two guys are the key to each one of them ball club tonight.
For Maskell, an outstanding three-point shooter. Courtney Lee has become among the top in Western three-point history now, so he knows how to shoot the three too, and we expect to see a lot of three-point shots tonight.
Well, both teams going to shoot a lot of threes tonight, and really the Eastern ball club is a perimeter ball club. They're going to shoot a lot of threes tonight, use that old Princeton offense, a lot of back cuts.
Keys to this basketball game, we talked about three-point shooting, but the pace of this game. Western likes to run it, Eastern wants to slow it down.
Well, Eastern's going to try to slow it down. They're going to try to do a lot of cutting to the basket and try to control them with their offense. Western's going to try to pull up tempo. They're going to try to really get the basketball out and run and play pressure defense and try to force them on their offense.
The other night against UAB, Western had trouble rebounding. This kind of lineup, though, Western a little bit bigger as we look at the probable starters.
Yes, Western a little bit bigger tonight. They will put a lot of pressure on them. They got to do a much better job of doing a boxing out and not give up second and third shots, because tonight the Eastern not as physical ball club they played against UAB the other night.
Eastern comes into the game limping a little bit. They're missing a few players, as we said. Only 9 or 10 players that'll be dressed out tonight for the Colonels. Western, on the other hand, 14 players, and they do like to run it. But again, Western, Eastern, you've seen a lot of great Western-Eastern battles, haven't you, Coach?
I tell you what, you can throw the record out and win when these two teams get together. It's going to be a fun game tonight. A lot of players are going to play from Western tonight. Not as many from Eastern Kentucky, but it's going to be a good ball game from start to finish.
As we said, both teams coming in with excellent marks. Eastern at 5-1, Western 6-1. We've got the tip-off coming up right here from EA Diddle Arena. Western and Eastern coming up on the Hilltopper Sports Satellite Network on Fox College Sports. Back here, ready to tip it off here in Diddle Arena, Western Kentucky University and the Eastern Kentucky Colonels. The Hilltoppers and the Colonels, their 153rd meeting. You see the head coach in his second year for the Colonels, Coach Jeff Neubauer. 0-1 versus Western, of course, facing them last year, his first time. And then on the other side, Coach Darren Horn in his fourth year has the Hilltoppers off to an excellent start, 6-1, 2-0 versus Eastern Kentucky University. The WKU alum has his team going strong. Hilltoppers only lost this year to then top-ranked Florida. Eastern Kentucky, on the other hand, their only loss to Ohio State, currently ranked number 1 in the country in one of the polls. Western controls the tip, and we are underway. Hilltoppers will like to run, and Eastern will want to play a very...
Eastern open up in a man-to-man defense here, and they go switching on the basketball here. Every time they come across them, they jump switching against Western. Western open up in a little weave here. Nice spike cut, nice dunk.
Western starts things off with Collier, who gets the first two for the Hilltoppers, who open up on top 2-0. And you'll see Western try to force the issue, Coach. They want to run.
They want to run. They want to play an up-tempo game here. You're going to find out the Eastern going to be very disciplined on offense, going to try to use as much of the shot clock as possible, use some back cuts, and try to get a lot of open jump shots.
Well, Eastern Kentucky averaging 64 points per game. And you can see they get off to a good start as well. Jamal Douglas gets the first two for the Colonels. 2-2, 19:04 to go. The turnover will be attributed against Western. First turnover of the game. Eastern did a little bit of running that time, so when they have the transition game there, I guess they'll take advantage of it.
They'll take advantage of every opportunity they can. Coach Neubauer is a very, very good coach. Does an excellent job here and got his team well disciplined, so they'll take advantage of every opportunity they can once they have in transition.
Maskell, he's the guy we featured at the outset, gets his first two. He'll go to the free throw line now. 61% free throw shooter, misses this. Western comes away with a rebound. 4-2, Colonel lead right now over the Hilltoppers. 18:52 to go here in the first half. Emerson underneath. Brazelton from 3, off the back of the rim, not there. Emerson had his hands on it, and they had it stolen away by Eastern's Adam Leonard. Rose off the glass, gets the 2.
They did a nice job in transition there, pushing the ball down the court and getting a nice 2-on-1 break for a layup.
Eastern with an early 4-point advantage right now over the homestanding Hilltoppers. Courtney Lee kind of stuck in the corner there, and Eastern's defense forces him into the turnover, the second turnover of the night against the Hilltoppers.
They did a nice job pushing the ball down the court, but he got in the corner, and Eastern came out a little full man-to-man and double team. He trapped the ball in the corner and got in trouble there and forced a turnover.
Now Eastern will face the full court pressure of Western. 6-2 right now, Colonel lead. 18:27 to go in the first half. Brazelton working defensively against Adam Leonard. Gets it across half court. Now we'll see the Eastern half court offense. As they work it around over to Douglas. Douglas, top of the key. Leonard from the three-point range, not there. Evans, the big guy for Western, with a rebound. Toppers coming the other way with it. Brazelton. Corner it goes over to Collier. Collier starts to drive in, gives it back out on top to Brazelton. They look underneath and find Emerson. Emerson, turnaround shot off the glass. Doesn't get it, but he'll go to the free throw line.
Well, I like what Western's doing so far in the basketball game. Each time down, the first 4 out of the first 5 trips down the court, to try to put it inside Emerson, and they try to really get the defense below the free throw line in case they get it inside and kick it back out some easy jump shot or go and try to draw some fouls. You can see this time he powered the ball to the basket and he draws a foul.
Strong move by Emerson to the basket. The 60% free throw shooter, first one on the way, hits it, averaging 5.1 points and 4 rebounds per game. Emerson, the sophomore out of Norcross, Georgia. He's come a long way since his freshman year, and he knocks down 2 free throws and pulls Western within 2 at 6-4.
Western come back with full court man-to-man pressure here. You can see Western going to play anywhere from 9 to 10, almost 11 guys tonight here. They're going to play double-figure minutes, so they're going to try to wear Eastern down over the course of the next 40 minutes.
Eastern only dresses out 10, as we said. They come in here limping a little bit. They've got about as many players on the bench in coat and ties as they do in uniform. Working one-on-one, Western stays in that man-to-man defense. Shot clock now down underneath 10 seconds. 17:26 to go here in the first half. Western's defense giving Rose some trouble. He throws it way up, off balance, and Collier picks up the rebound for the Hilltoppers. Good defense forces a bad shot.
Forced a bad shot there. That was really good defense there. And so the defense, you got to give them credit there to force that bad shot because the clock was running down. That's why he shot the ball from that distance and a bad shot because the defense pressed him in a forced shot.
Courtney Lee looking very aggressive tonight, looking like he wants to penetrate. He had a quiet night the other night. You still scored in double figures, but for Courtney Lee, you expect a lot of scoring and looking maybe to penetrate a little bit more tonight. Fakes the three-pointer, drives in, now looks, finds Emerson. Nice pass by Lee over to Collier from the corner. Three-point shot, got it.
That was a nice pass there by Lee inside to Emerson. Emerson really kicked it outside to a wide-open Collier for a 3. That's good inside-out basketball there. That's the way you draw it up.
Western takes the lead by 1 on the three-pointer by Collier. 7-6 now in favor of the Hilltoppers. Brock looking for help inside, and there's this slam dunk by Eastern's Maskell.
That's what you see throughout the evening. If you overplay, they'll cut back door. That's that old Princeton offense there. And boy, they're a good passing team, and if you don't really have weak side help, they get a lot of layups.
Eastern back up on top by 1 after the bucket by Maskell. The turnover by the Hilltoppers gives it back over to Eastern, looking to run a little bit, driving in and getting the 2 once again. Julian Maskell, he's got 6 early points here in the early going. 16-17 to go in the first half. Collier knocked one down from 3 a moment ago. Didn't get this one, but Emerson with a good offensive board work.
Well, that's one thing Western's doing tonight. They're doing a good job getting on the offensive board. That's 2 good offensive rebounds by Emerson so far in the basketball game. Good putback.
Western still down by 1. Eastern Kentucky with the ball. Leonard gets it across half court, working against Brazelton over to Maskell. He's got 6 early points here. Rose out top, it goes to Douglas. Eastern likes to shoot the 3, averaging about 25 shots a game from three-point range. Douglas inside that time didn't get it, but the offensive board by Eastern gets the ball back, and that's Rose with the 2 off the offensive rebound.
That's a good putback by Eastern. They're doing a good job fighting offensive board, so Western going to do a better job of boxing out also.
Western struggled the other night in the first half, boxing out against UAB, and Courtney Lee answers with a three-pointer. So Western right now, the team knocking down the three-pointers.
They're doing a nice job taking the ball inside and kicking it out to wide-open jump shot. It's good penetration on Western part, and the guys are doing a good job of spotting up, and they find an open man, knocking down those 3s.
We're tied again at 12. Ty Rogers will check into the Hilltopper lineup in a moment. Western and Eastern, 12-12. Both teams, as we said, only 1 loss this year. Eastern's to Ohio State. Western's coming at the hands of number 1 ranked at the time, Florida.
Well, here again, you'll see, again, the Eastern will spread the floor, and they use that high post shuffle cut and they get layup if you're not careful.
We've got a timeout on the court. We'll take a break. We'll be back with first half play on the Hilltopper Sports Satellite Network on Fox College Sports. Back here, Hilltopper fans in Diddle Arena. Eastern and Western always brings out the wildness and a little bit of everybody, especially the student fans here. Right now we are tied up at 12 apiece, Western Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky University. And Courtney Lee continuing to add to his three-point total now for his career, 136. He just moved into the top 10 recently among three-point shooters, and he's still got another year, almost 2 years plus to play here.
Right. Anytime he can get out and get his feet set and get his shoulder squared to the basket like that, he's almost automatic. He can knock down those threes, and Western so far has done a good job going inside out and kicking out to the three-point shooters.
Lee with 3 points on the night, averaging 17.3 per outing. Western's leading scorer. 12-12, we are tied. That last foul right before the break was called against Jeremy Evans for the Hilltoppers. There's a three-point shot taken by Eastern's Josh Taylor, who checked into the game. Not there, and then Maskell comes up with a nice steal by Maskell. 4 turnovers now by the Hilltoppers.
Eastern did a nice job of getting back and stopping that transition basket in the break, and they had to give him credit on the defense there and forced a turnover and intercepting the pass.
As we said, Ty Rogers now into the game for the Hilltoppers, the 6'3" junior out of Eddyville, Kentucky, Lyon County. Just came in. He's an excellent three-point shooter as well. Brown fires it up. Not there. Emerson with a good board work by the Hilltoppers. 12-12, still tied. 14:09 to go here in the first half.
Emerson doing a good job on the board so far. Both boards. They really rebound the ball extremely well.
Emerson had the pass inside to Evans, but Evans is tied up, and the ball will be given over to Eastern.
Does a fine block by Eastern that time. He did a nice job passing inside. Emerson made a nice pass, drop off to Evans, but he got to go up and contest the shot and get a nice block.
You'll see the subs by Western. Brazelton out, Mendez Valdez in for the Hilltoppers. Also, Joyner comes in, Butch Joyner, 6'4" senior out of Nicholasville, Kentucky. And Mendez Valdez, the 6'1" sophomore out of San Antonio. Western will run a lot of players in and out. And then the Hilltoppers force the turnover, coming the other way with it. Mendez Valdez with the steal, dishes it off over to Courtney Lee. Lee back to Rogers from three-point range, got it.
That's one thing Western doing a good job of penetrating that ball, taking the basket through there. Rogers, again, it was set up and did a nice job by Courtney Lee penetrating, kicking over to Rogers for a nice bucket.
Full court pressure. Rose breaks it, goes down. Eastern misses it, and Western with a rebound. Courtney Lee coming the other way with it. Hilltoppers leading it by 3, trying to add to it. Over to Emerson. Emerson drives in. Over to Rogers. Around the horn they go. Over to Lee. Lee drives, penetrates, fires it up from about 9 or 10. Doesn't get it. Eastern with a rebound. Harrison Brown coming the other way with it. 2-on-2. Maskell now pulls
This is a fast-paced game. This is the pace that Western really wants here. They went up and down tempo because they got more players, and they will probably be stronger in the basketball game than Eastern. So this is the pace Western wanted at present time.
Brown with a miss, and Western came down with the rebound. Just under 13 minutes to play. The Hilltoppers with a three-point edge, 15-12. Western won last year at Richmond, trying to keep the streak alive. They've won 10 in a row against Eastern, 11 straight here in Diddle Arena.
They run a double cut here, double pass here for Lee. Lee gets a nice shot here on the baseline, but he misses it. It's a nice play set up by Mendez Valdez right there.
Eastern coming back with it. Now they'll slow it down a little bit into their half-court offense. Western leading it by 3, 15-12 here in the first half of play from Bowling Green. Jeff Younglove, Club Haskins. Eastern-Western battle of the bluegrass. Nice inside move on the baseline that time by Eastern's big guy, Michael Brock.
That's one of the few times you're seeing throughout the evening they put the ball inside. That time makes a nice drive and gets a nice layup.
Rogers again from three-point range. Got the hot hand going right now. Second three-pointer for Ty Rogers.
I like what Western's doing. They're putting the ball inside. They're doing a nice job of driving the ball to the baseline and throwing a diagonal pass back over the top, and the guys are really getting set up and knocking down some open threes.
18-14, boy, right into a pretty good crash right there. Maskell, as coming right up underneath him was the Hilltoppers. We've got another break on the court. We'll take a break and be back after this on the Hilltopper Sports Satellite Network on Fox College Sports. Back here, 18-14 right now in favor of the Hilltoppers, and they're painted red tonight here in Diddle Arena. And one reason they're cheering is some outstanding play off the bench and scoring by Ty Rogers, the junior out of Eddyville, already with a couple of threes, Coach.
Well, anytime you see Ty Rogers come out, he get his feet set, man. He relaxed. He can really knock down shots. This guy's really a premier scorer, a great jump shooter. And tonight he's really getting set up, and the guys are doing a nice job of penetrating and kicking it to him. He's making some open jump shots tonight. Second
on the team for the Hilltoppers in threes. He's hit 13 now on the year, behind Courtney Lee's 17. Rogers hitting at 36% from three-point range, and has gotten off to a nice start here tonight. Hilltoppers leading it by 4, 18-14, 11 and a half minutes to go. Eastern's trailed the last few minutes, and Joyner adding to the Hilltopper lead.
That's another quality player off the bench. You got Joyner and Mariska in there, and you got Slaughter. These are really quality players coming off the bench for Coach Horn tonight, and you see here they're going to make a strong impact here in this game tonight. There's a little running jump here, double the basketball now here. You may turn his back, and he's in trouble.
Yeah, Hilltoppers have picked it up defensively. Eastern has to call a 30-second timeout to get out of trouble. And you talked about the Hilltoppers bench, guys like Mariska and Joyner. They're not starters, but boy, they are just as valuable. And a lot of times it's not who starts, it's who finishes.
That's who finishes, who plays in the basketball game. That's what having a quality bench. And guys got like Slaughter and Joyner, Mariska come off the bench and do a fantastic job of putting ball pressure on, and also they give some added scoring. They do a wonderful job. You can see right here, Joyner gets posted up inside, and get the ball to him, he gets a bucket. Not only give him quality play on the defense end, but he also able to score, and that's a big plus in the game today. I tell you, they have three guys in there. All three of them can make baskets. Well, just play excellent defense.
Surprised by the pace at all? We thought Eastern might try to slow it down some, but they've been running up and down court pretty good amount too.
I'm really surprised that Eastern trying to play a fast-paced game with Western tonight, but I tell you, they're getting up and down the court, but they've been able to convert and making basket. That's what it's all about. They've got about 3 or 4 layups, and they've missed all the jump shots so far, and they're 0 for 4 from the 3, and it's kind of surprising if they started making those threes that they'll get back in the basketball game.
Western, a lot of defensive pressure. Once again, Mariska way up on top to Douglas. Douglas will try to post him up underneath. Instead, dishes it out over to Brown. Brown takes it in. Now back over to Douglas. Doesn't get it. Mariska gets the rebound for the Hilltoppers. Western leading it by 6 with 10:49 to go. Mariska. Left corner goes to Ty Rogers, already with a couple of threes. Mariska drives baseline left. Cut off there by Douglas. And Western will set it up once again. Both teams with only 1 loss on the year, Western and Eastern. A great rivalry. They played each other more than any other. This is Western's face Eastern more than anybody else in its history. Turnover there by the Hilltoppers gives the ball back over to the Colonels. And then they turn it right back over to Western. Leading it, Joyner doesn't quite get it to go. Mariska with a rebound momentarily. Ball on the floor, picked up there by Eastern's Douglas. Fast and furious. If you like it, boy, you ought to be having a great time tonight. And then the foul on the other end is Rogers clips Daniel just as he goes by him.
Well, it's been a fast-paced ball game here in the last minute and 30 seconds. It's been kind of out of control with both teams, and they haven't got a lot done here. You can see both teams a little out of control. Probably missed an early foul, but again, both teams are getting up and down the court here, so they got to slow down now and really start taking care of the basketball and get a high percentage shot.
3 team fouls on each team. Eastern to get it in underneath. A new 35 on the clock. They get it inside Douglas. He's trying to push Mariska out of the way and just kind of muscled him and muscled the bucket up in.
Right, he got away with a shuffle that time. You know, it should have been a traveling situation, but the referee missed that. But again, that's basketball, and those things happen.
Western on the other end. Mendez Valdez will pick up his first foul of the night, the 4th team foul, as Daniel set him up. First foul on Mendez Valdez. 20-16. Western right now leading it by 4. Eastern's led by as many as 4 themselves. Trying to get it in, Eastern, and...
Well, they committed a violation on the baseline. It's a marked violation. You cannot move when you have the ball out of bounds like that. It's a marked violation. He moves, so it's a turnover on the Eastern part. So Western get the ball again at the same spot.
Gives the Hilltoppers the ball back. Turnover situation right now. 3 for Eastern, 4 for Western. And it comes to Slaughter, another excellent shooter for the Hilltoppers, 6'3" freshman out of Shelby County High School in Kentucky. Mendez Valdez from 3, in and out, not there. With the rebound, Daniel comes away with it for the Colonels. Under 10 minutes to go in the first half. Western leading it by 4. Slaughter working one-on-one against Harrison Brown. Daniel starts the drive, cut off on the baseline by Rogers. Back out on top. Eastern working it around. Thus far, Eastern's 0 for 5 from three-point range, and then the steal by Rogers, who just takes it away from the Colonels.
That was a good pressure defense there, but Western that time, and young man just threw the ball right into his hands, and there's a great forced turnover there, but a good pressure defense.
Courtney Lee will check back into the Hilltopper lineup along with Tyrone Brazelton, giving Rogers and Mendez Valdez a little bit of a rest. So Western again shuffling the players in and out, keeping the pressure on this Eastern Kentucky Colonel squad. And Mess Dog, want to make sure he does check in. I think he checked in with a public address announcer, but didn't quite make it down to the score, and they'll correct that.
He didn't check in with the right person. You're correct on that. So
a lot of people over there, and they just got to run up and go in. And official score, didn't see him, so they've got him checked in now. 9:16 to go, 20 to 16 rather, in favor of the Hilltoppers. Brazelton starts the drive, cut off there by the Colonel contingent. In the corner, looking for help, A.J. Slaughter gets it over to Brazelton. Long pass over that Eastern Kentucky zone. Back it goes to Slaughter. Shot clock now down to 8. Good defense by Eastern Kentucky this time. Slaughter fires it up from three-point range. Well, you work hard on defense and then you give up the three-pointer.
Well, I say Western doing an excellent job of taking the ball inside and kicking it back out for a wide-open jump shot. And that time, Slaughter burned a three that time. The ball going inside and defense collapsed and he kicked it back outside for open three.
Slaughter, a good-looking freshman for these Hilltoppers. Daniel will try to answer from three, and he does. The first three-pointer by Eastern Kentucky, who likes to shoot them. Well, that's the first one they've been successful on here this evening. Almost a turnover by the Hilltoppers, but Maresca tracks down the basketball. 23-19. Off that time by Slaughter, but with a rebound for the Hilltoppers. Joyner gets it, dishes it back out over to Courtney Lee. Lee will give it to Brazelton. The Toppers will set it up once again. 8:03 to go, 23-19, Western by 4. Slaughter finds Joyner inside, covered up there by Douglas. Back out it comes to Brazelton. Brazelton picked up by Leonard. From in front, Brazelton doesn't get the shot to go down with a rebound away for Eastern, Michael Brock. 7:44 to go here in the first half. It's been a fast-paced game, something really, we knew Western wanted to keep it at this pace, but kind of surprised that Eastern hasn't really tried to slow it down a whole lot.
They really played a lot of, they pushed it. Here's Western come on the break again here. Nice break going, and Lee takes it to the bucket.
Courtney Lee, great move to the basket. Maresca had one tip up in it, still couldn't get it to go down, and then a strong rebound that time by Michael Brock right in front of the Western student section, who thought he was a little too aggressive. And then right over the heads of the Western bench, the ball sails, so the turnover by Eastern Kentucky will give the ball back over to Western. 7:14 to go first half, Western leading it by 4. Another break into the action. We'll be back. This is the Hilltopper Sports Satellite Network on Fox College Sports. We're back here in E.A. Diddle Arena, Bowling Green, Kentucky. The battle of the bluegrass. Right now, the Hilltoppers have the best of it, 23-19. And A.J. Slaughter, the freshman, hitting 50% of his threes on the year, and he is an outstanding shooter.
He's an excellent shooter. You know, a young man can shoot the three, but he also is an excellent driver. You know, as he mature and play a lot more basketball, you're going to see he can really take it to hold and create opportunities for himself, but also for his teammates. You see he can throw the ball in. That's an excellent passer, gets it inside here to Joyner. And Joyner's a strong guy here. He makes a nice baseline drive here, and he kicks it back outside to him, and he squares up and knocks that three down.
Good inside-outside basketball. You'll like to see that when you've got the three-point shooters to make that successful. It looks even better.
Right.
23-19 in favor of the Hilltoppers.
Here's Eastern come out. They come out in the 1-3-1 zone.
It'll still belong to Western. Courtney Lee take it in right from half court. S-Dog will go out back into the game for the Colonels. Julian Maskell. He's their leading scorer with 6 points, and got his nose bandaged up a little bit. He actually was called for a foul there, turned around and ran right in to the Hilltopper, and so they had to do a little bit of work on him on the sideline.
Right. They come back into the 2-3 zone this time, and they force Western.
They thought Emerson lost it out of bounds, and Western will maintain possession of it.
Eastern knocks it out of bounds, but Western keeps it out on the baseline.
23-19, a 4-point advantage for the Hilltoppers. Brazelton gets set, brings it in. Little 2-point shot there, but Lee way up there on that rebound. Just couldn't quite control it, but what an athletic move. Eastern back with the basketball. Douglas working against Emerson, way out on top.
Western doing a good job of forcing them out further. They want to be out to catch the basketball here. Here's a nice drive on the baseline. Nice cut off. Good defensive player again by Courtney Lee.
You said Eastern coming into the game hitting 35% from three-point range, 53 for 150. Western on the other side holding their opponents to 23% from three-point range. And a lot of times you say, well, you know, how can you hold your opponents from three-point range? Well, good defense forces the three-point shots that maybe you don't want to take them when they're not that open.
That's correct. But Eastern Kentucky really in the last 3 basketball games is shooting about 51 and 52% from 3. And they've been doing a great job. Tonight so far, I believe they're 1 for 5 from the 3. So it's the defense pressure really is really helping Western in this situation.
Emerson can't quite hang on to it. Eastern steals it away, comes the other way with it. Maskell working one-on-one. There's a three-point shot. Left baseline by Rose, overshot. But Maskell comes up with a rebound for the Colonels. 5:55 to go in the first half. 23-19, Western by 4. And the officials with a whistle here. We're going to discuss a couple things. Let's see what this is about.
The ball went over the goal. I don't believe it hit the rim, and they reset the 24-second clock, I believe. I'm not 24, but 35-second clock. So I don't know what's going to, if that's the call.
Jeremy Evans comes back into the Hilltopper lineup. Walker will get a rest for the Hilltoppers, Mike Walker.
I'm not sure what
either way, there's 23 seconds on the shot clock now.
So I guess they.
So 5:50 to go here in the first half. Eastern back with the basketball, working against this man-to-man pressure defense of Western. Toppers like to keep the pressure turned on against this Eastern Kentucky squad. Leonard, as they work it around. Back it goes to Leonard. Leonard fakes the 3, now inside. Nice pass that time by Douglas, but he missed the easy 2. Good penetration that time. Did everything except get the ball in the basket. Western on the other end. Evans can't quite hang on to it and turns it back over to the Colonels. Up and down the court, both these teams doing a lot of running right now. Not a lot of scoring thus far. 23-19. You'd expect a lot more points, but credit that to some very good defense on both ends. Leonard fires it up from 3. Got it. Adam Leonard with his first bucket of the night. And Eastern all of a sudden back within 1 at 23-22. Western starts to drive it inside, slapped out of bounds. It'll be Hilltoppers' ball still underneath its own goal.
So when you're playing a team like Eastern, any team can make the threes like this. Anytime it's a 3-possession basketball game and 3 trips down the court, you can get right back in the game. And Eastern Kentucky, one of those ball clubs, can do that. They're only down 1.
Ty Rogers back into the Hilltopper lineup as Collier goes out. Comes into Courtney Lee. Courtney Lee has 1 3-pointer on the night. Lee back with the basketball. Of course, Lee draws all the attention by your opponents now. No secret that you want to try to control him. Oh, Evans had a great rebound and tried to stuff it back in. A little bit off balance, and it went off the back of the rim. Eastern with a rebound. 23-22. Hilltoppers by 1. Inside. And then the travel will be called against Adam Leonard for the Colonels. That'll give the ball back over to Western with 4:28 to go.
Well, the key there, though, was Emerson. Emerson really deserved a lot of credit there. He stopped the layup and he forced the turnover by really doing a great job on weak side help on defense by getting there and prevent that layup.
Josh Taylor into the Colonel lineup to replace Jamal Douglas. Taylor, the 6'7" freshman out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This is his first action of the night. Lee working against Leonard. Out top to Brazelton. Eastern has stayed in that 2-3 defense now for the last 5-10 minutes. Courtney Lee knocks down another 3, continues to add to his total.
Well, that's good ball movement there by Western. Their part. Eastern playing a nice 2-3 zone, but it's good penetration, good ball movement. Created an opportunity to get a wide open 3.
26-22, Western by 4. Eastern working Rose against Lee. Out on top, long 3-pointer by Leonard, who answers, and Leonard now with the last 2 Eastern buckets, and both of them have been 3-pointers.
Anytime Leonard get his feet set more and square up to the basket, he can really knock down 3s too. So you really got to get out and keep a hand in his face at all times.
Hilltoppers lose it. This pass by Leonard well above anybody that could come down with it, as Maskell couldn't quite come up with it. 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Western leading it by 1, 26-25. A break in the action. We'll be back. This is the Hilltopper Sports Satellite Network on Fox College Sports. Back in Diddle Arena, 1-point advantage for the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers over Eastern Kentucky right now, 26-25, 3.5 minutes to go here in the first half of play. And Courtney Lee, both of his shots coming from 3-point range. He's got 6 points on the night, but also 3 assists, and that tells you the importance of Courtney Lee is not all just about scoring.
No, Courtney Lee really strengthened this ball club, not necessarily scoring, but he played excellent defense, and he's a good rebounder, and he also passed the ball extremely well. He's a really good teammate. So, he plays both ends of the basketball court and does an excellent job of passing the basketball, setting up his teammates also.
As we said, when the attention is on him, he finds the way to get everybody else back into the game as well. Lee with the ball right there, looking for Ty Rogers. Rogers will fire it up this time inside the 3-point line. Emerson with the rebound, puts it back up, doesn't get it to go down, still battling for it. And then Brock picks it up for Eastern Kentucky. Emerson's got a couple of offensive rebounds, just seems to be a lid on the basket. Long 3-pointer taken by Rose out there, and Western's Courtney Lee coming back court with it. 2:51 to go, first half. Emerson again, baseline left. Drives in, has it slapped out of his hands, and this time the foul will go against the Colonels. Whistled against number 24, Josh Taylor, as Taylor picks up his first foul. Only the 4th team foul of the night, so not a lot of fouls being called on either end. Western only with 4 as well. There's Lee, and guess what? It's a 3-pointer again. 3 3-pointers in the first half for Courtney Lee.
That's a nice inbound pass. He's wide open in the corner there, and Eastern did a good job of getting out and putting a hand in his face. So he squared up and knocked down a wide open 3.
And then the 11th turnover of the night against the Colonels, as Douglas can't quite hang on to it. That'll give the ball back over to the Hilltoppers. As Rose goes to the Eastern bench, and Eastern wants to take a 30-second timeout with 2.5 minutes to go, 29-25. Courtney Lee can do so much, but boy, when he's on fire, knocking down 3-pointers like that, Coach, and you said they find him open and they find a way to get him involved.
They find a way to get him involved, get the basketball. He's a very unselfish player. Sometimes you'd like to see a guy take a few more shots like that. The way he's shooting the basketball, he'd like to create a few more opportunities for himself and teammates, get the ball to him a little more so he can get a few more shots because he's really hot.
29-25, Western leading it by 4. Courtney Lee, 9 points. As Courtney Lee moves up the career scoring ladder, he is now tied with Chris Marcus, the big player here a few years ago who played under Coach Dennis Felton.
Yeah, if he keeps playing, he's going to break a lot of records before he leaves Western. I tell you what, he's an excellent shooter, very, very good basketball player.
As we said, only a junior, so still a year plus for him to add to his point totals, which we're sure he will. Courtney Lee with the basketball right now, 29-25.
Eastern come out in really aggressive man-to-man defense and match up zone that time. And again, Roger gets his feet set, and they've done a nice job of ball movement and scoring up and knocking down another 3.
Ty Rogers, along with Courtney Lee, both of them now with 3 3-pointers. That's Western's largest lead of the night at 7 now, 32-25. The Hilltoppers knocking down the 3s. And Eastern was the team that came in tonight shooting more 3s, 25 per game. Western shooting about 21 per game. So they both like to do it, but Western having a little bit better success tonight.
Well, Western doing a better job because they have more ball pressure and really with a hand in the face, not giving Eastern a lot of open 3s. And that's why they're shooting a better percentage of 3s.
Just as the buzzer goes off, that 3 away, not there for Brock, and Mendez Valdez for the Hilltoppers. 1:18 to go first half. Western trying to add to that 7-point lead. Courtney Lee, 4 3-pointers on the night.
That's what I like to see, man, when he's got a hot hand like that. He really come look for the basketball a little more and really become more offensive minded. In that situation right there, Courtney Lee came off with a nice little ball screen by Mendez, and he just dropped it off to him and came off with a nice 3. It's a good basketball play.
Largest lead of the night by the Hilltoppers. It's 10, 35-25 as we wind down under a minute to play here in the first half. Western has been hot from 3-point range. Courtney Lee with 4, Ty Rogers with 3, and Collier also with 1. Inside Eastern, Maskell has it blocked, puts it back up after he got the rebound. Douglas gets the rebound and puts it in. Nice job that time by Douglas.
Easton did a nice job with a nice back cut there, and Western got over, stuck to break away, but they had a good offensive rebound, a nice put back up by Douglas.
So Darren Horn calls the timeout with 29.8 seconds to go in this first half of play. Courtney leads 12 points, is now passed in three-pointers. Darren Horn, the head coach, and Darren Horn would probably say, in scoring rather, in total points, has passed now Darren Horn. And I'm sure Darren Horn says, Courtney will let you pass me all night long if you can continue to knock down points like that.
As long as you can knock down points like that and bring me wins, that's right.
1,115 points for Darren Horn in his career. And Courtney now with that last three-pointer has 1,116. As we said, he just continues to add to a lot of totals, and he'll continue to add to them before his career is over. And Coach, you said it, he's got the hot hand tonight, and he does feel it.
He has feel it right there. He came off a little nice ball screen there, but a guard and knocked down another three. Western want to call a timeout here so they can set up a play here with 29 seconds to go so they can get the last shot here for the half in.
35-27, 29 seconds here in the first half of play. Eastern comes out in the zone, a little bit of full double team pressure now.
Eastern comes out in a half-court 1-3-1. They're going to probably trap at him, try to force Western and take it a quick shot, a bad shot here. They try to trap at this 1-3-1 half-court defense.
12 seconds, 11 seconds. Lee, he'll fire it up from three. Why not? He hasn't missed yet from three. Courtney Lee with 5 3-pointers, 15 points in this first half of play. And the Hilltoppers right now got it going from three-point range as they will take an 11-point lead into intermission, the largest lead of the night by the Hilltoppers. And it's been the Courtney Lee show at least for the last 3 or 4 minutes.
The last 3 or 4 minutes, he's been on fire. I tell you what, that's what you want to see a player do. And when he has a hot hand like that, you want him to get the ball to him and look for him to take a few more shots.
38-27, Western leading up by 11. We're at the half. We'll take a break and be back with more. This is the Hilltopper Sports Satellite Network on Fox College Sports. Back here at the half, an 11-point advantage right now for the Hilltoppers over Eastern Kentucky. These two teams have met over the years 152 times coming into tonight, 153rd meeting between these two teams, and Western owns the series right now 109-43. And when you talk Western Eastern, you got to talk about some of the outstanding games throughout the year. And boy, what two better people to have here between Clem Haskins and John Oldham to talk about Eastern games. And give me your most memorable Eastern game, either as a player or as a coach.
I really
you remember
am
one?
not anxious to do it, but I will do it. It was January the 13th, 1968. We journeyed to Richmond, Kentucky, and I wish we hadn't have gone. We started out the first quarter and we were down about 15 points, and it got worse. And Guy Strong got his ball club ready to play, and they beat us 99-69.
So I guess one of those 43
Why did you
wins
ask me such a question?
Coach, I thought you might come up with a better memory. What about you, Coach Hatt?
You wasn't in that
I
one.
wasn't in that one, Coach Oldham. No.
But usually their games are relatively close.
Most games we played at Eastern is always anywhere from 1 to 5,
Right.
1 to 7, or 8-point basketball game, one way or the other. We've had dog fights throughout my career, and I'm sure yours too, Coach Oldham.
1979, of course, the famous three, and that's probably, is that the most famous one you think, that 3.5-second one
that came along, and I was looking at the clock that night because Wes Strader had asked me to go on immediately after the game, and I was watching the clock, and I saw the clock when it ended, and we just kept playing. And boy, I tell you, that was a tough one. But now you got to remember, old Jim Bechtold. Do you remember Jim Bechtold?
Yes, I do,
with
Coach.
the Knicks.
Yes.
We had 45 home wins, and they came down here, and I was guarding Bechtold, and he makes the winning basket.
We break your winning streak of 45 games.
Right, sure did. And then we
played
them. Then we played them in the OVC tournament, and then I brag a little bit. I said, Coach, let me guard him one more time, and if he gets 5 points, I'll buy you a steak. And I believe Jim got 4 that night.
Yeah, I can believe that, Coach. That's why they call you Coach O. I don't know. You can put a big D on him, Coach.
I held him to his britches a time or two there.
Well, there have been some great Western-Eastern matchups, but is the rivalry any different today? Of course, it was OVC days back then, but is it still just as big a game, you think, when these two teams meet?
I would say that the rivalry is not as extent today as it was then, but you know, there's still a lot of us with gray hair, and we enjoy beating dear old Eastern about as much as anybody we play.
I think the difference is the players. The players, probably the young players, don't understand the rivalry. I was talking to Coach Horn about this. He said, how can I get my players ready to understand what this means to Eastern? I said, well, you know, it's hard to get that, you know, because they really don't understand the history, really. You can tell them that, but when the game starts, you know, it's a different story the young people today. But yet still the fans remember it. I remember it. Coach Oldham remembered it. Our age group of people remember the days when we used to play. It was a dogfight each time we play.
Well, they call it the Battle of the Bluegrass, whether it's football or basketball, and pretty much people know when you say Battle of the Bluegrass, you're talking about Eastern and Western.
I didn't see the paper today, but a guy called me and said there wasn't hardly anything at all in the Courier about Eastern and Western, and you remember when we would play that even the Courier would have a fourth of a page talking about the rivalry between Western and...
It'd be the talk of the whole state, you know. It really would be. You know, the student body would be, it was just different. There's a buzz in the air for the whole week. Whoever you play before you play the Eastern, they were talking about Eastern, so you had to be careful not to overlook your opponent before you played Eastern, because that was kind of the round was going leading up to the Eastern basketball game. We had to really be careful and not to overlook the opponent before we played Eastern, because everybody's so excited, looking forward to that game.
Great rivalries, and we've got another pretty good one here tonight. Right now, it's Western leading Eastern in the Battle of the Bluegrass, 38-27. John Oldham, thanks for being with us once again. We're going to take a break and be back. This is the Hilltopper Sports Satellite Network on Fox College Sports. And Eastern. And good evening, everyone. I'm Jeff Young, along with Clem Haskins, and really that pretty much says it all, Coach. Western and Eastern, throw everything else out. These two teams have met enough. They know a lot about each other.
Believe me, anytime Western and Eastern get together, it's going to be a big game tonight, a big dogfight from start to finish.
Both of them coming in with very good records. Western 6-1, Eastern 5-1. And the two players we want to watch tonight, of course, Courtney Lee, always for the Hilltoppers. Then Julian Maskell, a very good shooter, a perimeter shooter for Eastern.
Well, Courtney Lee's having a big year, and Maskell doing the same thing. These two guys are the key to each one of them ball club tonight.
For Maskell, an outstanding three-point shooter. Courtney Lee has become among the top in Western three-point history now, so he knows how to shoot the three too, and we expect to see a lot of three-point shots tonight.
Well, both teams going to shoot a lot of threes tonight, and really the Eastern ball club is a perimeter ball club. They're going to shoot a lot of threes tonight, use that old Princeton offense, a lot of back cuts.
Keys to this basketball game, we talked about three-point shooting, but the pace of this game. Western likes to run it. Eastern wants to slow it down.
Well, Eastern's going to try to slow it down. They're going to try to do a lot of cutting to the basket and try to control them with their offense. Western going to try to pull up tempo. They're going to try to really get the basketball out and run and play pressure defense and try to force them with their offense.
The other night against UAB, Western had trouble rebounding. This kind of lineup, though, Western a little bit bigger as we look at the probable starters.
Yes, Western a little bit bigger tonight. They will put a lot of pressure on them. They got to do a much better job of doing a boxing out and not give up second and third shots, because tonight the Eastern not as physical ball club they played against UAB the other night. Eastern comes into the game limping a little bit. They're missing a few players, as we said. Only 9 or 10 players that'll be dressed out tonight for the Colonels. Western, on the other hand, 14 players, and they do like to run it. But again, Western, Eastern, you've seen a lot of great Western-Eastern battles, haven't you, Coach? I tell you what, you can throw the record out and win when these two teams get together. It's going to be a fun game tonight. A lot of players are going to play from Western tonight. Not as many from Eastern Kentucky, but it's going to be a good ball game from start to finish. As we said, both teams coming in with excellent marks. Eastern at 5-1, Western 6-1. We've got the tip-off coming up right here from EA Diddle Arena. Western and Eastern coming up on the Hilltopper Sports Satellite Network on Fox College Sports. We're back here getting set to start the second half, 38-27 in favor of Western behind the 5 3-pointers of Courtney Lee. You know, last year, Coach, these two teams combined for 29 3-pointers made. Western 16 of them, Eastern 13 of them. So we really shouldn't be surprised to see a lot of threes being shot tonight.
No, both teams, like I say, they have it. They love the tradition. They both shoot threes a lot. Here's the Eastern starting out again, the 1-3-1 half-court defense. And Western trying to attack. They're setting up the offense here to try this 1-3-1 defense.
Courtney Lee, as we said, had 5
turnover
three-pointers in the first half. Yep. Jeremy Evans couldn't quite hang on to it, and then coming up with the excuse me trip, but it'll still be called for the foul. Evans, who had an outstanding game against UAB earlier this week. In fact, a perfect night by the freshman. He was 8 for 8 from the field, 2 for 2 from free throw line, and he picks up his second foul here tonight. Eastern now works it around, trailing by 11, 38-27. Just underway here in the second half of play, and you got to believe Eastern will try to get back into the game a little bit using that three, and Adam Leonard's had a pretty good night of it. He's got 3 three-pointers himself.
Leonard can really shoot the basketball. You can see that anytime he gets squared up like that, he can knock the three down. So, you know, he gets 4 or 5 looks here in this basketball game. Can be all tied up here if Western do a better job of can come out here with more pressure defense.
8-point advantage for the Hilltoppers over to Brazelton. Eastern some pressure. Still in the zone. Courtney Lee drives and can't quite get it. He was too close to the basket. All he's been doing is hitting threes tonight. That one was too close.
That was too close. He did a nice job driving the baseline here, but Eastern Kentucky forced him into miss. That's another 3 by Eastern. So Eastern starting out now making those threes. They missed those threes in the first half. They opened the ball game up here with 2 threes so far, and of course they forced Western and 2 turnovers start the second half also.
Eastern with 6 unanswered points thus far here as we've opened second half of play. Make it not still 6. Evans had his hands on the rebound. This foul will go against the Colonels and give the ball back over to Western. Still looking for its first field goal here in this second half.
You know, start of the second half is really critical. That's first 5 minutes when you come out of the locker room. I tell you, you can get in the basketball game or you can get out of it real quick if you don't come out of the locker room ready to go. So Eastern's really fired up starting the first 5 minutes. They thought they're ready to play. And Western a little bit flat coming out of the locker room, see Mike.
Mendez Valdez comes into the Hilltopper lineup to replace Tyrone Brazelton. And it comes over to Collier. Collier inside to Emerson for the 2. Emerson now with 6 points on the night.
They did a nice job of flashing in behind the defense, catching them all at the high post, and dropped on the baseline for a nice bucket. That's how you attack that zone.
7-point advantage for Western. Their first bucket here in the second half. Took them almost 2 minutes to get it. Eastern has had a couple of 3-pointers so far. 40-33 in favor of the Hilltoppers. Rose out up top. Western stays in the man-to-man defense. You won't see too much zone by Western once in a while coming out of a break just to give the opponent a different look. Turnover by Eastern gives it over to the Hilltoppers. Nice save that time underneath by Courtney Lee, and then Emerson can't quite hang on to it. Slapped out of bounds. It'll still belong to the Hilltoppers underneath its own basket. 27 seconds on the shot clock. 17:38 to go in the basketball game. Western leading it by 7, 40-33. Jeff Younglove, Clem Haskins here with you in the Battle of the Bluegrass from EA Diddle Arena. Eastern hasn't won in Diddle Arena the last 11 times they've played. They'd like to stop that streak here tonight. Collier from the right side, deep, overshoots it, and with a rebound coming away with it is Eastern. The Colonels looking to come the other way. 17:21 to go in the ball game. 40-33, Western by 7. They took an 11-point lead into the half. Brock, as Eastern runs it around the top of the key. Leonard has 3 3-pointers so far tonight. Emerson way out on him. Left corner it goes to Brock. Shot clock now down inside of 10. Maskell looking for help. Douglas starts to fire up a 3. Gives it over to their 3-point shooter, Leonard. And Leonard lost it over to the Hilltoppers looking to run the other way. Collier lob pass to Emerson. Timing a little off, but Jeremy Evans there to finish it down.
Well, Evans finally followed up and get a dunk. The other night he made all those shots like that, but Emerson couldn't handle a lob, but Evans Johnny on the spot there to put it back in for the dunk.
The importance of staying with it as Evans gets his first 2 of the night and Western's lead back out to 9. Gets the crowd excited a little bit too. Good student section in here tonight. 16:23 to go. Turnaround shot by Douglas up over Emerson, not there. Evans had his hands on the rebound. It goes out of bounds. It'll belong to the Hilltoppers. Good hustle by both teams that time as Brock going hard for it. Took Evans' legs out from underneath him, but
well, that's one thing you learn as a freshman. When the ball's on the floor like that, you better go down and get it because somebody come and clip you, and that's how guys get hurt. If you don't learn to go on that floor off that basketball, because you have big, tough guys like that will come in and get the basketball, and that's how a lot of injury will carry. You have to learn to get down on the floor off that ball.
Collier, nice penetration and drive that time by Benson Collier. Gets his first 2 here in the second half. He's got 7. Western again, full court pressure. They've got that lead back up to 11, which is what it was at the half. Eastern breaks it. Adam Leonard against Mendez Valdez. Eastern, after hitting 2 3-pointers early, hit a little bit of a dry spell themselves. Western has answered, 44-33. Eastern had that lead cut down to 5 points on the pair of 3-pointers. But Western quickly answers, gets it back. Courtney Lee with the steal. Lee going to Collier, who stuffs it through for the Hilltoppers. Courtney Lee with another assist. 4 on the night by Lee.
That was a nice break there by Collier and Lee, getting out on the break like I stand wide, and he dropped it back for Collier. Lee did for a nice dunk, a nice break.
Well, Jeff Neubauer wants to talk things over. He does not want to let this game get out of hand, I'm sure. And the Toppers have opened up a 13-point lead, and Eastern, who came out, knocks down the 3. But you see what pressure defense does for you, and the transition game working this time for the Hilltoppers.
You know, with pressure defense, and you get on defense like that, to create opportunities for you to get nice transition basket and run out. Here's a nice pass here. You drop it off for Collier for a nice dunk. Nice pass here by Lee.
Courtney Lee, we talked about it earlier. Yes, he can score. We saw him score in the first half, but he does so many other things that help these Hilltoppers defensively and then on the nice assist. He's got 4 assists to go along, so as you said, very unselfish player.
Very unselfish player right there, but he created opportunity by getting a steal and pushing the ball up the court and pushing down the court, and also creating an opportunity for his teammate. He can take the ball in for a shot, perhaps get fouled, and get to the line himself, but he makes a nice pass for his teammate.
And then this is perseverance as Emerson went in, but Evans with a nice follow, his first 2 of the night. And as we said, he had an outstanding night the other night, and this maybe gets him going a little bit.
It may get him going. That's good to see the big freshman come off and get a bucket like that. You know, they love good dunks, and the crowd love that too. So it's an opportunity for him, maybe get him started by getting that dunk.
As we said, Evans on the night against UAB earlier this week. It was a perfect 8 out of 8, and 2 of 2 from the free throws as well. Of course, Western had a perfect night from the free throw line the other night, hitting 14 out of 14. Neither team really there much thus far in the game. In fact, only 3 free throws have been shot so far tonight. Eastern 0 for 1 and Western 2 for 2. So not a lot of fouls going on.
Not a lot of fouls going on. When you have jump shooting teams, you know, it's a sin to foul jump shooters. So you should never foul jump shooting. That's why not a lot of fouls tonight, because both teams are playing on perimeter, shooting a lot of perimeter shots tonight. That's why not a lot of fouls, because both teams are shooting a lot of jump shots.
46-33, Eastern inbounds it right at half court. Trailing by 13, the largest deficit of the night that Eastern has faced. Leonard working against Mendez Valdez for the Hilltoppers. 14:58 to go here in the basketball game. Leonard in the corner, fires it up, this time a 2-pointer, but he still knocks it down.
That Leonard can really shoot the basketball. I tell you what, if you don't keep great pressure on him, he can make you really live hard. He can really shoot the basketball.
11-point lead for the Hilltoppers. Mendez Valdez faked the 3, gets over to Collier. Collier thought about the 3 as well. Inside it goes to Emerson. Couldn't quite get position, so they'll dish it back out and start over again. Courtney Lee from the left baseline. Lee not there, out of bounds. It'll belong to the Colonels. 14:25 to go in the basketball game. Western leading it by 11, 46-35. We'll take a break and be back with more action. This is the Hilltopper Sports Satellite Network on Fox College Sports. Second half play. Little Hilltopper is pretty excited right now, as well as Big Hilltoppers. 46-35, the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers leading the interstate rival, Eastern Kentucky Colonels, right now in second half play. And then while Courtney Lee led Western with 15 points in the first half, it's the dunks that are making excitement for fans this half, as Jeremy Evans knocks down one, and then
you know, the dunk is something that fans really get excited about here. You can see also it's a follow-up dunk here by Collier here on this break here, by a nice steal by Lee, setting a nice dunk up by Collier.
Well, in close and far away are both exciting shots, and the Hilltoppers having luck with and success with both of those things tonight. Yeah. Out of bounds, nice play that time by Joyner. They tried to slap it off him, and no goaltending call as Joyner went up, and then on the floor will be the foul. That was pretty close. Joyner had a nice steal.
But that's a nice steal here again, and pressure defense by Western. Came out in the half-court trap here and trapped the ball at half-court and forced a turnover. Young man tried to throw it off his leg, but he threw it right into the defense man lap, I guess you call it, the leg, and they intercepted the basketball and went down for a bucket and called a foul.
Jamal Douglas picks up his third foul of the night. So the first of either player in a little bit of trouble. Mendez Valdez gets the kind roll.
Nice touch there. You know, he lays the ball up, shoots a three from long range, but he lays it up nice and soft, and he gets a nice basketball bounce.
First points of the night for Mendez Valdez, and they come via the three-point line. Western's had a lot of success from three-point range in the first half. They were
They're doing a nice job of double-teaming the basketball here. They're playing a little run and jump here, and a weak side man getting over and intercepting the basketball. They're doing an excellent job of doubling the basketball and shooting the gaps.
Toppers, a lot of good things happening for him right now. That foul called against Rose for Eastern, his second team's third team foul, as you see Mendez Valdez coming up with the steal and then drawing the foul. Looking for help. Over it goes to Ty Rogers. He had 3 3-pointers in the first half as well. Evans can't quite hang on to it. Rogers gets it back, and Mendez Valdez tracks it down. 13:23 to go. Inside it goes. Joyner passed it back out to Courtney Lee. Now it goes to Joyner. Joyner in the right corner. Over to Lee. Mendez Valdez hit a three-pointer a moment ago. This one doesn't go down, and Eastern with a rebound for the Colonels, Jamal Douglas. 49-35, a 14-point advantage. 13 minutes to go in the basketball game. Western leading the Colonels right now.
Mendez Valdez and Joyner came off the bench and really giving them a big spark here in the last 3 to 4 minutes here in the basketball game. Eastern needs to take the time and try to get a bucket here this trip.
Three-pointer.
Nice three there.
Nice three, and a well-needed three as Maskell picks up his second three-pointer this half. 49-38. Western's lead at the half was 11, and that's where it is right now. 12.5 minutes to go. Underneath, Lee will fire it up from 3. He's been perfect so far, but missed this one, but he's fouled, so he'll go to the free throw line to try to get his 3 points this trip.
Yeah, young man came over, tried to block the shot, and he was late getting there and hit him on the wrist, and they're going to go to the line and shoot 3.
Foul called against Maskell, his second foul of the night. And as we said, not many trips to the free throw line. This is only the third free throw attempt by Western. Eastern has only been there once.
Only one time, because they're strictly a jump shooting ball club. They're like Western, you know, they become a perimeter team, and you do that, you don't get a lot of fouls. You got to have you drive to the basket, a low post game in order to draw fouls.
Lee, an 86% free throw shooter on the year. Nice touch, gets it to go up around the rim and drop through. 16 points now for the junior as he continues to move up the career scoring mark. He's already passed Chris Marcus and his head coach over on the sideline, Darren Horn, tonight. Lee hit the second one. Evans will get a rest now, and Maresca comes into the game for the Hilltoppers.
These are 3 key subs for Western, I think. Mendez, Valdez, and Maresca, and also Joyner. These guys are really a valuable reserve for Western Kentucky University Hilltoppers.
Lee converts all 3. Western perfect so far on the night. We said 12 of 12 the other night, so 5 of 5 here so far tonight. So the Hilltoppers have their shooting eyes going here from the free throw line the last couple of games. Full court pressure by Western, leading at 52-38. Out of bounds, it'll still belong to the Colonels. Eastern has not won in Bowling Green the last 11 times they've been here. It's been 18 years since Eastern picked up a victory in Bowling Green. 1978, the last time they won. Western took the game last year in Richmond. Western leads the series all time, 109-43. Out of bounds, it'll belong to the Hilltoppers.
The pressure defense is really creating an opportunity for Western to get this 14-point lead here. Just you got to credit the defense pressure here in the second half.
Daniel comes in for Rose, also into the Eastern lineup will be number 15, Michael Brock, and getting a rest will be Douglas. One more Eastern sub to come in there, Harrison Brown. So Eastern trying to keep some freshness on there, and that's really when you see fatigue start to set in that second half, and Western, that's exactly what they want.
Right.
Slaughter into the game also now for the Hilltoppers. Rogers will fire from three. He's had the shooting eye tonight as well. His fourth three-pointer of the night. Ty Rogers.
You have to get the ball below the free throw line into short corners and penetrating in order to beat that defense. That's what Western was able to do. That good ball movement, and anytime you get to do that and get those wing guys a chance to spot it up.
Timeout on the court, 11:47 to go. We'll take a break. We'll be back on the Hilltopper Sports Satellite Network on Fox College Sports. 17-point advantage for the Hilltoppers right now, 55-38. Western Kentucky University leading it. And WKU basketball faring pretty well right now. And another guy faring pretty well, Coach Plum Haskins, is Ty Rogers, who has tied his career season high.
Well, Ty Rogers having a phenomenal night tonight. Anytime he can get set up like this right here and get his shoulder square to the basket, you can almost write it down. He just feels so comfortable now in shooting the basketball. And when you're coaching, you're a fan, you sit and watch him play. I tell you what, every time he turns loose, he's got a chance to go tonight.
He had 9 points in the first half, 3 3-pointers, and he's come in off the bench and added another 3-pointer this half. So Ty Rogers just continuing the 3-point barrage by the Hilltoppers.
Well, I tell you, the Hilltoppers defense tonight, I tell you, the ball pressure tonight, man, this is, they playing as well as you can play it tonight. They've been doing an excellent job of trapping the basketball, and they're rotating over. They're getting there to the spots as quick as they can to intercept the pass or deflect the ball. Doing an excellent job.
Shooting nearly 67% from three-point range. That's almost unheard of, but boy, when you're hot, you're hot.
When you're hot, you're hot. I say when you get those shots, you got to knock them down tonight. The Toppers are knocking them down.
Boy, playing aggressive defense too. They'll get whistled for the foul, but Mendez Valdez has always got a smile on his face, hustling hard tonight and on the floor a lot.
He's all over the place tonight. He is really stepped the basketball tonight. He made a lot of steals tonight, knocked a lot of passes down tonight. He's just super quick tonight and doing a great job with ball pressure tonight.
Keeping the floor clean as well as he slid about 5 or 10 feet there as well. Well, that tells you some good pressure defense as the inbound pass has to go all the way back into the back court for Eastern. Western's defensive pressure giving Eastern Kentucky a lot of trouble here in the second half.
I tell you what, you got to give the coaching staff this. Coach Horn, you got to give him credit tonight. He has his kids ready to play, got them very aggressive, good ball pressure. This is called scouting. What scouting is all about. Because this team can really shoot the threes. He's really got them ready and prepared for this game tonight.
Well, and coming off a good win the other night against UAB, you always wonder, even though it is Eastern, and the nice drive that time by Leonard, but you still got to worry about any kind of letdown.
That's correct. But tonight, I tell you what, they're ready to play tonight. When you got it going like Rogers, that's what you do. That's what I like to see guys do. And as a coach, you can accept that if he missed that shot. Because he's hit about 4 or 5 in a row. So you want to accept that shot if he missed it because he's really hot. You got to get a chance to shoot another shot like that.
Playing good defense as well as he puts some pressure on. Leonard, pass it goes over. Eastern will try to answer from 3-point range and just not there. But underneath, the foul will go against the Hilltoppers. Underneath, trying to gain position was Butch Joyner. So he'll be whistled for his first foul of the night.
You have Rogers at 5 for 5 from 3-point range tonight. You have Lee at 5 for 5 from 3-point range. Those two guys are just setting the nets on fire tonight. A.J. Slaughter only missed 1 shot from 3, so you know they're really doing a fantastic job shooting the ball from perimeter tonight, the Hilltoppers.
Coach Jeff Neubauer, you saw him there in his second year, and he likes to shoot the 3 as well, but boy, it's been Western who's had the success tonight from 3-point range. And credit Western's defense for giving Eastern all sorts of trouble tonight. And that defense right there forces another turnover by the Colonels.
Again, that's the key to this game tonight. With 18-point lead, you've got to give the defense credit tonight. They force more turnovers.
58-40, Western leading it by 18. 10:20 to go in the basketball game. It's been all Western this second half. Of course, the Hilltoppers have outscored their opponents in the second half in all 6 of their wins. So the Hilltoppers, a second half team very much this year. That ball blocked by Douglas as Slaughter went underneath. It'll still remain the Hilltoppers basketball as Messdog comes into the game for Eastern from Belgium.
He need to give Leonard a blow here, but I tell you what, I'm sure he's just going to be a quick rest because he got to get him back in the ball game. He's playing great basketball, and not only shooting extremely well, but he's doing a great job taking care of the ball and getting up down the court in transition as well.
Leonard, the leading scorer for Eastern with 14 points on the night, so they can't afford for him to be out very long. Rogers kind of had to force one up that time. Slaughter, though, gets the rebound, and things are going right for the Hilltoppers.
Things are going right for you, I tell you what. That's great recognition. That's a smart play on Slaughter's part, an idea the clock is running down. That's what's called good court sense, court awareness there of the clock, and that's just great basketball play on his part.
20-point advantage right now for the Hilltoppers, the largest of the night. Eastern's basketball at half court, 9:37 to go. Coach Darren Horn getting instructions to his players. The coaches never stop coaching and the players never stop playing. Even though you're 20 up, you can see the intensity still there on the bench and on the court. Douglas looking for a help. Brock. And he'll get the point, and this will be an opportunity for a three-point, and this will only be the second time that Eastern will go to the free throw line tonight. In fact, their first time was part of a three-point play as well. This foul called against Maresca, his first, fifth team foul, 4 team fouls on Eastern, and Brock will go to the line as Emerson comes back into the game for the Hilltoppers, along with Raid Mustafa, makes his first appearance of the night for the Hilltoppers. Mustafa, junior college player out of Berlin, Germany at 6'8", 220 pounds. Eastern converts the three-point play as Brock hits the 2 and then the free throw. And back into the game for Eastern as they try to go into this Hilltopper lead just a little bit. Leonard will check back in. I thought he had come in that time, but no, he's back in. You said they cannot keep him on the bench too long.
He just went out for a quick breather, you know. He's so valuable to the team and the way he's playing, the way he's shooting the basketball, and he just needed a quick blow, and I'm sure that I realize you have to do that from time to time from the coach, and that's what happened.
Tyrone Brazelton back into the Hilltopper lineup as well. Western leading it 60-43, a 17-point advantage. They've led by as many as 20. Right now it's 17. Over to Courtney Lee. A little bit more aggressiveness by the Eastern Kentucky Colonels on defense this time, and maybe a little bit too aggressive as Messdog is whistled for his first foul of the night. 6th team foul, so the Hilltoppers will be in the bonus from here on out. 9:01 to go. Western leading it 60-43. Take it inbounds right in front of the Hilltopper bench. Rogers set to get it in. 35 seconds. New shot clock after the foul. 9:01 to go here in the basketball game. Deep in the corner it goes to Lee. Back over to Tyrone Brazelton. Eastern tries to double team out up top. Trying to get something going, still playing the zone. Over to Courtney Lee. Lee, nice pass inside. It goes to Mustafa, who gets his first 2. And for Mustafa,
that was a nice drive there, but that time at Western, Lee penetrated down and dropped on the baseline Mustafa, and he made a nice bucket. Here's a good defensive play by Western again. That's what I like to see guys do, go on the floor after the basketball. That time Mustafa went on the floor and picked up that loose ball for a steal. Good defensive play by Western.
Western back out on top by 19, 62-43, 8:17 to go in the ball game. Lee gets the nice soft touch and
that's
his
nice
first
drive.
2 of the night.
Nice drive by Lee right there on a one-on-one move. Kind of a high post move to the left side right there to pull up for a jump shot there. But I know what he had in mind right there. Forgot it hit uphill right there. He's going to kick it down low for a bucket, but he made a nice shot.
And we said his first 2. That's because all he's been doing is making 3s so far. Nice answer that time by Mike Rose, who gets his 6th point of the evening. 64-45, Western by 19. 7:43 to go in the game. Rogers, he's had a nice night of 3s as well. Brazelton, right corner it goes. Lee looking for help and slapped away, and Eastern comes away with it. There's the 3-point shot taken by Leonard. Doesn't get this one to go down, out of bounds. It'll belong still to the Colonels with 7:25 to go. Break in the action again, 64-45. Western by 19, 7:25 to go in the basketball game. We'll take a break. This is the Hilltopper Sports Satellite Network on Fox College Sports. 7:25 to go. WKU spelled out by some fans here in the red and white. 64-45, Western leading it by 19. But 1 year ago, the Hilltoppers actually had a 22-point lead with 4:25 to go. And, Coach, you were at that game as we watched the Hilltoppers slaughter put one up right as the shot clock ran out. So don't count Eastern out yet. They battled back last year. And when you can shoot the three-pointer, as you said, like they can, you've got to be ready for them.
You have to be ready for them. Like you say, you can't relax. They got a 19-point lead here last year. Remember, up at Eastern, the same thing happened. They was up about 20 points. They cut it, I think, within 3 points, and they wound up winning by a few points, but they really cut it down to 3. So, you know, where this team can shoot the threes, they can do the same thing. The Western got to keep up the good half-court pressure defense and not allow that to happen.
This home crowd makes a big difference for the Hilltoppers as well. 64-45, a good crowd in here tonight for the Hilltoppers, and that blocking foul will go against Western. Mustafa will be whistled for his second foul, rather his first foul of the night.
Well, you know, it looked like it was questionable early, but that's the right call by the official. Made a good call in that situation because he was moving, kind of stood over in front of the young man to block his path.
Rose will go to the free throw line. Eastern so far tonight 0 for 2 from the free throw line. I've only been there a couple of times, and 0 for 3.
This team has got a lot of free throws and for the year, and so, you know, it's unfamiliar territory for them when they get to the free throw line because they don't shoot a lot of free throws.
Yeah, on the year from the free throw line, only 57 free throws all year long coming into tonight. So you divide that by 6, and you're not shooting very many free throws per game. As Courtney Lee gets the nice drive.
He split the defense that time and kind of faked the pass and went down the lane and made a nice bucket, nice drive.
Full court pressure, a little bit of pressure. Now they back off it a bit by the Hilltoppers, leading it by 21, 66-45 with 6:44 to go. Man-to-man defense, Hilltoppers stay in it. Nice pass that time by Brock. Over deep in the left corner, the three-pointer up, doesn't go down for Rose, and Western coming with it the other way. Rogers gives it over to Brazelton. Courtney Lee back to Brazelton. Brazelton will fire from 3, got it. Everybody's shooting them from 3 tonight for the Hilltoppers.
Well, they got the mojo working tonight. I tell you what, they're making those threes tonight because those are nice passes by Lee and their teammates to set each other up to get some wide open looks.
Well, and I think you just said it, wide open looks. Players getting a chance to square up like that. And when you're a good shooter, you're going to knock them down, but a lot of passing that goes into that. And it's not just I'm open, shoot it. It's a lot of planning that goes in to get that player that open shot.
They're doing a good job with good ball movement, a lot of good passes to create those opportunities. They're not coming down and taking one pass and firing up shots. They're doing a good job of ball movement and creating those opportunities for the teammate to get some good pass.
Emerson has it slapped away from him by Rose. Rose will drive back in, missed his last shot. Emerson this time gets it, going to hang on to it and get it away to tie Brazelton. 69-45.
When you get an offensive rebound like that, you don't want guys throwing elbows, but when you're really a nice guy like that and don't, that's what happens sometimes. Guys will come up and take the ball from you. So you want to be a little ornery sometime when you get the basketball to keep people away from you. Courtney
Lee calls the timeout and quickly goes down. Don't know if he wasn't any contact that went on right away, as trainer Mike Gaddy will check on Courtney Lee. He got a cramp, I think. He's got a cramp. Kind of looked like that's maybe what he was doing, favoring that left leg. And, you know, the pace of a game like this, even when you're in great shape, that happens to you. That happens from time to time, yeah. I think he had a cramp, and I hope that's all wrong with him. He'll get a nice round of applause as he sits up and still kind of favoring that lower shin kind of area. As the fans giving Courtney a little bit of encouragement as well. 69-45, Western led at the half by 11, 38-27. As we said, when they have outscored their opponents in the second half, they have nothing but wins, and Courtney Lee going to be helped off the court a little bit. And we certainly hope that's nothing serious. We didn't see anything really happen. He just went down and then looked at the officials and asked for the official timeout. And we certainly hope for the best for Courtney Lee. 5:26 to go. It'll be the Hilltoppers basketball. underneath its own basket. Collier set to get it in. He does so. Brazelton has it slapped out of his hands, picked up by Leonard. 69-45. Eastern leading it right now. Rather, Eastern trailing right now by that 24 points. 5:09 to go. Just off the hands of A.J. Slaughter. Still remains the Colonels basketball right in front of their own bench, set to throw it in. Defensive pressure by the Hilltoppers. Out up on top it comes to Maskell. Maskell, who we highlighted coming into tonight's game, had a pretty good first half, but has been quiet lately as they fire up the three-pointer. Doesn't go down for Taylor, and Western coming the other way. Evans turns it around, doesn't get it to go in, battles for the rebound, and instead comes away to Brock.
Well, that was a great pass by A.J. Slaughter there off the break that time, though. He just missed the layup. That was a wonderful drive, wonderful pass, and he just didn't finish.
Maskell out up on top. Picked up there by Tyrone Brazelton. Eastern going to have to get some scoring going pretty quick now. Deep in the corner, the shot taken by Maskell doesn't go down, and Evans with the rebound for the Hilltoppers. Brazelton over deep right corner. Not there for, well, Collier does get the nice.
Collier gets squared up here and knocked down a long three out of the corner that time. He got a nice bounce. It's a basketball bounce, we call it.
Everybody's been hitting the threes tonight. 72-45. Hilltoppers with the lead, and a timeout again taken by Eastern Kentucky. And Coach Jeff Neubauer is probably not real happy with some of the defensive effort a few times down now by Eastern Kentucky.
Well, he's probably very upset in transition and not really getting back and defending his shot. And that thing is here, you know, you'd hate to see him take a bad shot or miss a shot, but you want him really sprint and get back and play better half-court defense. I think that's probably what he's upset about more than anything, and not really get back and contest those shots.
72-45, and the word on Courtney Lee on the sideline, just has some cramps. And as you said, a fast-paced game like this, he's played a lot in this basketball game as well, and just tend to cramp up a little bit. And I guess that's the good news, is that it's not anything serious.
Well, sometimes you get dehydrated, but in a game like this right here, you know, as long as you play this time of year, you wouldn't think that would happen, but it does happen from time to time. That could happen to him, and maybe that's the problem he's going through at the present time. He come up with a cramp in his leg, and I'm sure he will be okay.
22 points on the night for Courtney Lee. He was 5 of 5 from three-point range in the first half. 3 free throws and a couple of other buckets here in the second half. And Courtney Lee leading all scorers at this point in time. Eastern gets it in with 4:04 to go in the basketball game. Eastern trailing it to the Hilltoppers, 72-45. Maskell. They work it around. Maskell now will work left side with it. Josh Taylor drives in, baseline left, nice drive, and gets his 2.
That's a nice baseline drive, nice finish off the drive.
72-47. Western still pretty much in control right now, as Collier will be called for the offensive foul as Eastern sets up defensively, and Darren Horan maybe not too excited about that call. We've got a timeout on the court. 3:39 to go. This is the Hilltopper Sports Satellite Network on Fox College Sports. It's been all Western in this second half, and the fans are liking it right now. 72-47 in favor of the Hilltoppers over their rival, the Eastern Kentucky Colonels, and there's been a lot of these threes raining down on tonight. And it doesn't matter how they go in as long as they go in. Still
right,
count.
you can see there's a nice long three there by Collier out of the corner. They got a nice friendly bounce and with a nice touch on the basketball to knock down one of those long threes.
Collier 2 for 4 from three-point range. Western 15 out of 22 now from three-pointers, 68% three-point shooting. They've been hot tonight.
Yeah, that's shooting like most people shoot free throws.
Courtney Lee a perfect 5 out of 5. Ty Rogers 5 out of 6, but he had to kind of throw one up as the clock was winding down, shot clock winding down earlier, so otherwise he probably would have been a perfect 5 for 5. And boy, Darren Horn not happy about this at all. And he wants officials to confer with each other. I think he thought it was off of Eastern, and sometimes those coaches get those turnaround calls, don't they?
Well, they get those turnaround calls, but he made the right call. You have 3 officials, and that's what you're supposed to do. They're supposed to get together and talk about it and confirm that. That was the wrong call he made the first time, and he corrected and made the right call.
Inside, Brazelton with a nice drive. 5 points now for Tyrone Brazelton. 74-47. Western with a 27-point advantage. There's the whistle, and the foul will go against the Hilltoppers. That'll send Eastern to the free throw line to shoot the bonus. And Boris Siakam checking into the Hilltopper lineup. Did not see any action in the first half.
First time.
And Leonard at the free throw line for Eastern, still looking for his first free throw to be made of the night. 0 for 4 now from the free throw line. Check that now, 1 for 5. They did make one earlier here in this half. Gabu also into the game for the Hilltoppers, seeing his first action. So a chance for Darren Horn to get some Hilltopper players some playing time, and down the road that becomes important for you.
That's right. You guys play a little bit now because this game is pretty well in the hand by the Toppers. There's 3 minutes to go, but guys need to still come in and play good defense, take good high percentage shot, and still try to get something out of it. It's not a up or down game or sandlot game. It's still you're trying to teach them how to play and how to win in a game situation. That's what's important.
Maskell will go to the free throw line for Eastern. 76-47. Western by 29 points. 2:25 to go in the basketball game. Maskell hits the free throw. David Boyden, a familiar face to Western fans. I guess you can still say he's a nice guy, even though he's on the opponent's bench right now. But he did a lot of things for Western throughout his career here. David Boyden, an assistant coach on Eastern Kentucky's bench right now.
That's right. He did a lot of
Boyden
good things.
Played, was an all-Sun Belt Conference player, helped Western to 3 NCAA tournaments, played from 1999 to 2003. And as we talked about earlier, just a pleasant young man as well. And he's going to have some success on the coaching level.
He's going to be a very successful coach, was a great person, and going to be a very successful coach down the road.
Collier's shot blocked that time by Eastern's big guy in the middle, Jamal Douglas. Three-pointer fired up by Eastern. They just haven't had much success from three-point range here this evening. Josh Taylor with that miss. On the other hand, Western has had nothing but success almost from three-point range. And the fans will get a little bit more excitement as Adam Howard will check into the Hilltopper lineup. Number 14, the walk-on from Ashland, Kentucky, a 5'11 junior, and fans always have their favorite, and they love to see the guys who work hard in practice get their chance to play a little bit.
Well, that's true. The underdog, they call it. You know, they don't spend a lot of time. He practices hard as everybody else, and so he deserves a little playing time. Here's almost 2 minutes to go in the game, so coach is going to reward him for working hard in practice, and they're going to give him 2 minutes in the game. That's great.
Leonard starts to drive on Collier, now drives down from in front, puts a little left-handed shot up and in. Leonard's had a nice game, but Eastern has not gotten much scoring out of anyone else other than Maskell. Maskell and Leonard pretty much handling most of it. Gabu for the Hilltoppers over to Howard. Howard will fire it up. If he hits it, you'd hear the fans go crazy. Just off the back of the rim.
Could have got a standing ovation if he made that shot because fans love a guy like that.
Nice follow-up that time by Douglas. There's the steal by Maskell. Numbers aren't quite there. He'll give over to Brown. Brown instead will drive in, puts it high up off the glass and knocks it down. His first bucket, less than a minute to go here. 76-55, things pretty much in hand. The Hilltoppers leading it by 21. And the timeout being called by the Hilltoppers' Darren Horn. They'll reset things.
He just called timeout to make sure you get the young man in as a sub. You want to get Collier out of the basketball game because, you know, that's why we will have him stop in action. You just want to make a sub there and so get A.J. Slaughter in the basketball game for Collier.
Also for Eastern, checking in for the first time, Justin Woods, number 33. So everybody getting a chance to play on both sides here. 51.4 seconds, 76-55. Western by 21. They'll pick up win number 7 here tonight and go to 7-1. Next action for the Hilltoppers will be on the road at Montana as they take on Montana December 6th. So a long road trip for the Hilltoppers coming up. Walker with the 2 and the slam dunk by Mike Walker, his first 2 of the night.
That's a great setup by A.J. Slaughter. He just has a great feel for the game of basketball, how to utilize his talent and help his teammate get bucket at the same time. That was a great touch pass. And everybody can't throw a lob pass. Everybody seems to think they can, but they don't know how to do it and set a teammate up. That was a great touch pass.
Eastern will try to only change the outcome by a number of points that Western wins by. It's going to be a 23-point victory for the Hilltoppers tonight, 78-55. The crowd appreciates it, and a good win for the Hilltoppers. They were hot from three-point range tonight. Eastern had their hands full as they came into Diddle Arena, and Courtney Lee kind of started it off towards the end of the second half, hitting 5 of 5 three-pointers in the first half, and then Western continued in the second half to knock them down from 3, Coach.
Well, Courtney Lee had a great game. You know, Ty Rogers shot the ball extremely well with some big threes tonight, and you know, the bench played extremely well again. And Maressa come off did a great job, and Joyner and A.J. Slaughter come off the bench and gave him great bench play. So that was a team effort once again tonight. But again, Lee had a fantastic ball game, and Roger, I thought, just shot the ball extremely well. And if Topper continued to shoot the ball like that and play that good half court and three-quarter, full-court pressure defense, pressure like that, and forcing turnover and converting, they're going to be very tough to beat.
Everybody gets a chance to play tonight as Walker got the last 2 points for the Hilltoppers, number 77 and 78, a 78-55 victory for the Hilltoppers over their rivals out of the eastern part of the state, Eastern Kentucky. We're going to take a break and come back and talk a little bit more about this win for the Hilltoppers. 78-55, the final here tonight from Diddle Arena. We'll take a break and be back. This is the Hilltopper Sports Satellite Network on Fox College Sports.